Hello and welcome to practical number 16 of subject applied electronics. The practical is of voltage shunt feedback amplifier. So this is the circuit to be implemented on breadboard, and up here is the block representation of the voltage shunt feedback amplifier. So here in the block diagram we can see output, a part of the output is sampled as it is parallelly connected to the output load. So here the sampling is of the voltage and is given to the input side through this feedback circuit or feedback network. So the voltage is converted to current in this configuration and it is applied in parallel to the input. So due to the parallel, since the feedback circuit is in parallel with the output and in parallel with the input, the overall impedance of the output reduces and that of the input resistance or input impedance also reduces. So voltage shunt feedback connection decreases output resistance and is one of the important feature of the amplifier. The practical competency as per the industry identified competency required after performing this practical is to use discrete electronic devices and voltage regulators. A relevant course outcome of this practical is to use BJT feedback amplifier, and practical outcome is to use transistor to build and test voltage shunt feedback amplifier. So here the negative, in most of the amplifiers we employ the negative feedback as it provides the stability and number of advantages like improved performance, improved frequency response, linearity at the cost of reduced gain. So in this arrangement or in this topology, the gain, voltage gain is reduced, whereas the frequency response and linearity, the noise is reduced. So for implementing it, the components are given in the tabular form. For our circuit we have used BC558. The other transistors can also be used, similar transistor. So this is the circuit where we have the BC558. This is the base transistor to limit the base current. It is of 560 ohm. Here we are providing the function generator input at 100 millivolt peak to peak. This is R1 of R1 is of 33 kilo ohm and R2 is of 3.3 kilo ohm. So this is the potential divider arrangement for biasing the transistor. Then here we have the RC, it is of 1.5 kilo ohm, and down here we see it is 330 ohm emitter resistor, and bypassing that there is a capacitor of 10 microfarad, and this is the output coupling capacitor of again 10 microfarad, and output amplified output or output of the circuit is taken out from the capacitor's second end with respect to the ground. And VCC here we have provided 6 volt and it is working properly at this voltage. We can provide 12 volt maximum. So for taking the readings, what we have to do is we have to vary the input frequency for the same input 100 millivolt peak to peak. So here first channel is the input and it is in 2 divisions, and one division is of 50 millivolt. Both the volts per division knob is at 50 millivolt. So the input is of 50 millivolt and output we can see it is of 1 2 3 4 it is in output is in 4 divisions. That means it is 200 millivolt output. So this is at 100 hertz frequency. Similarly, in order to take the readings at next frequency, we can just go on pressing the button, selecting the higher frequency range from the function generator, now it is at 1 kilohertz, and the output we can see has reduced, and it is about 2 divisions, so it is nearly equal to the input 100 millivolt. 50 into 2, 100 millivolt. So we can go on noting down. So at 1 kilohertz earlier we have noted 90 millivolt, now it is showing 100 millivolt, no problem. So we can go on pressing the higher frequency button and note down the corresponding output from the CRO second channel. Here again the output has reduced, it goes on reducing. Now it is at 100 plus 105 kilohertz. Output has reduced further, and lastly we can take the reading or output for the 1 megahertz, that is 1000 kilohertz. So in this way we can take the readings, and beyond at lower frequency this is the output at lower frequency. Okay. Now in order to take the readings at 50 hertz and 100 hertz or 20 hertz, we can change similarly and note down the readings. Now this is with the feedback, this reading is with respect to the output is noted with respect to the feedback. Now without feedback we have to take, so for that what we are doing is we are removing the bypass capacitor and noting down the repeating the same procedure for different frequency. So we go on pressing, selecting the frequency and noting down the output from the CRO second channel. So this is the output at 1 megahertz without feedback. Okay, so in this way we are taking the readings, and we have taken the readings, and gain has been calculated. To calculate the gain we are taking the formula 20 log V out upon V in. So this is with feedback, so we are taking for example 200 millivolt as output and 100 millivolt as input. So voltage gain will be 2, and converting it into dB we are multiplying with 20, so we get this value in dB as 6.02 dB. Similarly, in order to calculate the bandwidth with feedback and without feedback, we have to plot the graph with respect to, first graph will be plotted with respect to frequency and the output voltage, frequency versus the gain without with feedback. So this is how it is plotted. Here we have taken the frequency along x-axis, and along y-axis it is the voltage gain in dB. So first curve we see in darker, it is of with feedback, and secondly we have drawn for the without feedback. So there is reduction in the bandwidth of the given configuration, voltage shunt configuration or topology. When we are using it without feedback, there is a reduction in the bandwidth, and with feedback the bandwidth increases and the response increases, stability is increased due to negative feedback of the configuration. And here we have calculated the bandwidth as 450 at the upper frequency, and lower frequency is 5. So 445 hertz is the bandwidth for the given topology with feedback, and without feedback 350 is the upper frequency and lower frequency is 13 hertz, and difference we are getting is 337 hertz as the bandwidth without feedback. So in this way we are calculating the gain from the plot or the frequency response, and the same result is written here. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video.